you beautiful goddesses out there. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I wanted to come on here today to talk about how I healed my cramps, how I healed my uterus, how I healed my ovaries and the cysts that were on my ovaries, and all naturally doing it from my own remedies and my own way. So I'm going to start with talking about how important it is that you realize that tampons are not beneficial for us. Yes, they absorb a lot. Yes, they're there when you need them, and they're quick and easy, and they're not super messy. And that's the great thing about them, and that's why we all, go to them as a go-to. And now everybody uses tampons, and it's such a societal thing that we don't realize we're actually stopping our flow. And the more we continue to push up bacteria and things that build up in our vagina, in our uterus, it will build up over time. The more we continue to put tampons in, it doesn't allow our natural structure of our uterus and our walls is to pull out and to release every month and shedding that layer. And that is really what our moon cycle is all about, is releasing all those things. And so what we're doing when we're putting a tampon up there is we are blocking and blocking and shoving and shoving. And on an energetic level, this is actually you're just shoving energetically more and more up that you don't want, right? And so say you went through a hard breakup that month, or you had, a breakdown, or something happened that month to you emotionally that allowed you to have a more severe period. And when you're using tampons and you're having those emotional breakdowns, and that month you're just holding in so much that you need to be releasing through your blood, and you need to be shedding through that. But when we're continuing to put a tampon up there energetically, it's causing more and more to build up. And this right here, our womb, is the center of all of our emotions, all of our creativity, and our balancing centers. And when we continue to just shove and shove and shove, nothing will be allowed to be released fully. And so this causes cramps over time to get more severe. And it will cause, these are scientifically proven. You can look into it a little bit more, although I'm sure tampon websites and stuff will tell you the exact opposite, because it's all about the money. And so it will cause you to have more cysts in your ovaries, more problems in that whole area. And I struggled for probably about 7 years of my life with major severe cramps, almost hospitalized every single time. I would lose so much blood that it would make me have blackouts and make me shake, and I wouldn't be able to walk properly, and it was very severe. And my boyfriend at the time had shown me something that I was like, oh, that's some weird sex thing, I don't know about that, but actually it's a very sacred thing. And it is something that has really allowed the muscles in my vagina and my uterus to strengthen and be used properly, because I wasn't so used to using those muscles on a regular basis that when I would have amounts of blood, it would build up in my uterus and not be able to fully come down because the muscles weren't strengthened enough to pull it down. So I had come across this thing. Here, I'll show you. I got it here. This is called a Yoni Egg. They're very small, and you don't really feel them when they're in or anything. But when he first showed me this, I was like, oh, that's crazy, like some weird sex thing, I don't know about that, and I was not very interested into it. But then I started watching some YouTube videos on it, and people were talking about how it's really sacred, and it's helped them with their cramps, and that it was used thousands and thousands of years ago only for royalty. Only royalty was allowed to use this. And it is something that should be always redeemed sacred, something that should be looked at from a ceremonial point of view. And when you're using it, you want to use it with intentions. I'll go into all that in a minute. So I started using that, and within 3 months, within the same time, I also stopped using tampons, because I realized every time I used a tampon, it would cause my cramps to get worse. And so I stopped using tampons, and the main reason why I wanted to do it in the first place was so that I could give my blood to my plants and give my blood to the earth, because there's a lot of ancient traditions that say that you should give your blood back to the earth for the nutritional properties that your blood holds, and the earth needs that. And so that's the original reason why I didn't want to use tampons anymore. So I started to look into different ways online, and I tried the cup thing. That never really worked for me. Some women really love it, and I think that's great, and they should keep using that. So if the cup works for you, do it. But I wanted to do something where it was just kind of just flowing out of me, and I just let it do what it naturally needed to. And so I came across these felt pads. You can get them on Amazon for like $10, and they just snap around your underwear or whatever, and they are so absorbent. Like, compared to a tampon, I would go through tampons really, really quickly. Probably within an hour the first day, I would be filling up a Super Plus tampon every hour. Now, this felt pad lasts me 2 of them. My first day is my most, probably your most too, my most heavy day. And so 2 of them last me all day. And they're super easy. I mean, a little bit messy, but who cares, right? And so you just rinse it out, and you clean it out, and you wash them, and you get a whole pack of like 10. And so it's so much more absorbent than even a regular pad, I have found, and this way I'm not using a bunch of waste and having a bunch of waste all the time, and buying so much money's worth of cotton and tampons and pads, and it's just like, we're forced to buy those things, but no, you're not forced. You have options, and we got to look into those options. So anyways, I started using these felt pads around the same time that I started using this Yoni Egg. Within 3 months, I stopped getting cramps altogether. I used to have pain during sex sometimes. I don't have pain during sex anymore. And that was mainly because I had a cyst on my ovary. So if you struggle with cysts on your ovaries, that can be something that can help you too. And so I started using this little egg, and it looks small, but it's mighty. And the actual healing properties that any crystal holds is sacred in itself. And so you're going to want to really invoke these properties and put the healing energy into it. And every time I use my Yoni Egg, I'll do a whole nother video for ceremony and how you may want to use your Yoni Egg, and all the things that you could do with it, and in a ceremonial way. And so I always put an intention into it. I ask it to heal me of this, help me with this. You know, you can even put manifestations into it. Whatever you want to put into it, know that this is going inside of you, where you have some of the most nerve endings in that area. And so your body's very sensitive right there, and it's going to really absorb energetically whatever you put into it, especially a crystal with heightened energy. Mine is a adventurine. I really wanted a jade one, but they didn't have the one I want. But this one I love still, and a lot of women like to start with jade, or rose quartz is really good too. I would look into the different crystals and their properties and what you need in your life for you. And so as you do it, and as you get better at it, you are strengthening the muscles inside of your vagina and in the walls. And so those muscles were not very... Sorry, my video stopped there for a second. So those muscles we are not very used to using, and when we strengthen them and we use them more, they are more prone to work in the proper dynamic that they're supposed to work when it's pulling out the blood. See, when we're getting blood clotting or when we're getting blood pooling up in our uterus, that means there's something, some sort of constraint that's not allowing the blood to flow properly. So I noticed as I strengthened these muscles, it got easier for my blood to flow out of me. And also, I swear, the tampon thing is the biggest thing for me, I think, because there is so much toxic stuff that they put inside of a tampon when they make it. And of course, you can get organic and stuff, and that's great. You can do that, but you're still going to be stopping the flow. You're still going to be shoving up. And to an extent, yeah, it's going to absorb most of it, but you're still going to be pushing up, and it's not going to detox itself in the proper way that it wants to. And this is a problem and can create problems more down the road. And so I noticed after 3 months, after I stopped using tampons, that I did not have cramps anymore. And this was like crazy. Like, I am so mind blown that that was even possible, because it was such a struggle even to go to work. Midol, nothing would help but Midol, and I would have to take 6 for it to even take the edge off for a couple hours. And so I was suffering every month in that area of my life, and I can't even explain to you how much this has changed me and how much this has helped my life. So I really hope that you take some advice from this video, and if you have problems or any feminine imbalances, please feel free to reach out to me with questions. I will put my Instagram logo here at the bottom of the video, and if you would like, you can DM me on Instagram, and if you have any questions or if you just need some help talking about anything, I'm here for you. I hope that really helped all of you. Much love. I hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed day. Please follow and subscribe. Namaste.